Hey guys, coming to you today with a storage bin for my Distress stains. I recently made something for my Distress oxides and Distress inks. Well, now I want to do something for my Distress stains, and I want them to be at an angle like this, and I will put the color on the top here so I can see it. So I'm going to do a grid like this, and from a side view it's going to be like this with 4 spots. Okay, so I've not made one of these before. I'm going by trial and error. I'm going to take you with me. So for my calculations, I figure I need 4 pieces at 8 by 2.5 and 5 pieces at 4.5 by 2.5. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to cut those out of this heavy weight chipboard. Right now what I'm going to do is go through and mark the halfway point, which is 1 1/4, on the top and the bottom. And the reason I'm doing this is to draw a line, and this is where we're going to cut. And then I'm going to mark, I'm going to cut every 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark all of those, and I actually only need to mark the first one because after this I can use this one as a guide for the rest, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now these are my middles. I need 2 of these to look exactly the same. This is the tricky part. So I want this side to be, let me use my other ruler here. Make sure this is even. Okay. 2, 4, and 6 on this side. Okay. But on this side, we're going to do 2 inches apart, but we're going to start at 1 1/4 inches, I think. I think that's what I decided I was going to do. Yes, 1 1/4 inches. And then from that point, we're going to do every 2 inches. So I'm going to start from here. Let me use this ruler this time. And we're going to go every 2 inches starting from this point. So 2, 4, and 6. And then we're going to connect the dots like this. Okay. This is where our Distress inks, our Distress stains are going to live. So if I wanted to test that, I would put the ruler here because that's where the bottom is, and this is where this is going to sit. And of course it's not going to go back any further than this line here. Okay, and then the next one will be here. I know that shifted a little bit. And then the last one will be like that. Okay? And that is kind of a side view. Of course, it'll have the side on it like that. And this is what will be sticking out. Okay. Now we have to find our halfway point. So this is also 2.5. So our halfway point is going to be 1 1/4 and 1 1/4 here as well. And then we're going to connect these dots. So we have to cut either this side or this side. And I'm going to try, I wonder if I try something different and I cut the opposite. So if I cut here, 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 and here, and then cut the opposite here. But these are going to go like this. Now we also need to mirror this. We need to mirror one of these. So I'm going to do this, that, that, that. And actually I said that wrong. We're not mirroring it. It's just what it looks like. Now we're going to cut just on either side of this line. We can go just past this middle line here just to make sure we get enough through there. Okay, and then I'm going to try to pull these, and usually you can just rip them off. Now, since we've done that on that piece, we can use these to mark. I keep breaking my lead. Okay, so I have glued on all of the hinges to the sides, and I even glued on the backs. I did 2 on one side and 1 on the other for each one. I'm not sure. This one does not look right at all. I'm going to have to... oh, look what I did. I did the wrong side. I have to take this off. It's going to tear a little bit. But that mark is definitely not right. Needs to be 2 inches. No, it should be down here. This one is correct, so it was just this one that was incorrect. So now we can re-glue that. See, I knew something wasn't right, and I wasn't paying attention, and on the next one I glued the wrong side. But that's okay. We'll glue the right side this time. Let's see. Uh-oh, dropped one of my clips. Okay. Oh, I really screwed this whole thing up. Take it off. Okay, I really have screwed this whole thing up. I have put the whole thing on backwards. Do you see what I've done? This is the front, and this is the front. So, it's okay. It's fixable. Glue is a wonderful thing because all we have to do is keep gluing. Just keep gluing, just keep gluing. I know, I'm ridiculous. Okay, try it again. Okay. All right. This is what I was telling you. I don't know if it was earlier or in a different video. I'm not sure, but that you do have, even though this is fast drying glue, you do have some time. You can pull it apart and salvage instead of having to throw your whole project away and start over. That gets very discouraging when you have to do that. Okay, looking good so far. And then this one goes here, and I think the hinge is going to hang off, but that's okay. I'd rather have it there, and we'll just trim that. It's just good to have it there. Okay, looking good so far. So this is the front. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now we are going to get our other side here, which is here, and figure out, goes like this, but it has to be, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna attach this. I think it would be best if I lay it this way, and then I can line up these. I can see the lines on the bottom and the top. Okay, I'm going to try that, and I'm going to try to work fast, so I'm just going to put glue on all of these. And I think I need a shim underneath, because I think that my sides are just a tad bit slightly whiter than my middles. So here's some scrap right here. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to use this for a shim. This is the top. Okay. So I'm going to, sorry if my head is in the camera. I'm going to, I just don't know if this is going to work. Maybe I'll try it this way. I need to line that up there and that up there. Oh, I see. My shim needs to go on my inside. Maybe that would help. And I think I need a double shim, actually. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Where is that? And that. Okay. Now, this one, I just don't have enough light. Oh wait, maybe this is the better option. Okay, I think this is the better option here. I know you guys can't see anything. Oh, this one moved a lot. Okay, there we go. So that's the back. I want to move these forward. Oh man. This one I would say is a little more challenging, I feel like, than my last one. And the one for my distress inks. I think it's just the angles that kind of makes it a little bit confusing. Okay, I think I got it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% positive it's lined up correctly. But, you gotta cut these off or else it's not gonna stand. How do I do that? Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice. I'll turn it on its side so you can see it. And this is going to be the top, is that right? The top. Okay. And so we're going to need some things on that, and that's the bottom. And then I cut this piece that I could put across here if I wanted to. So let's glue some thingamabobs on this one. Actually, I think I'm going to put it on the outside on the bottom because there's no room in here. So I'm going to put the hinges like this on the inside of the bottom and the outside here, because I'll just cover it with pattern paper, so it'll be fine. So let me just glue a couple of these guys on. There. There. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom, like that. Okay, and for the top, this looks crooked. I'm sure it is, since I was having trouble earlier. I'm sure it's crooked. Yeah, it is crooked. Anyways, fix that later. I think now we are ready to put these guys on. So hopefully everything lines up, right? Okay. It's not looking so good. Am I doing it backwards? No, it's fine. It seems a little wonky. I mean, it's not wonky, it's pretty solid actually, but you just gotta kind of wiggle it so that those grooves meet up. It'll go. Just keep playing with it. Will go. There. I just felt it like pop into place. Okay. It'll straighten up once we get the back on it. See? Get everything glued. We'll get all of these glued. Okay. Yep, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be just fine. And let me just look at this, because we're gonna put a top like that, so that's gonna be the top, and then we're gonna cover this with pattern paper. And this one looks, good grief, is this one crooked too? What's gotten into me? Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's fix that by hand, I think. There we go. There's a little bubble in it. And where's the other one? I'm just going to fix it by hand too. Actually, it's not too terribly bad. You do want things as squared off as possible, because otherwise, otherwise it will be all wonky. I'm going to go ahead and glue this, the bottom on. I'm going to get that lined up on each side, and then push these tabs up like that. And just hold it there for a bit. It's a little snugger fit because we're going on the outside of here, and I didn't make like any type of an allowance for that. So on this one we can go on the inside. Okay, yeah, so we'll glue on the inside on this one, and that'll pull those in. Okay. this way. Here's my little yellow ruler. This one is really good. This is a great ruler. This is actually a seamstress ruler from the sewing department, and I like it very much for scrapbooking and crafting in general. It has many of the same traits as the Tim Holtz Ideology ruler, see-through, but one thing I like about it better is that it's a little bit smaller and easier to handle for certain things. And the Tim Holtz one has rounded corners, which is good for their own for some things, but this one is just completely square. And it okay, I apologize, I got cut off in the middle of my sentence, and that for me that was for a while ago, and I'm not even exactly sure what I was saying. I think I was comparing the rulers for you. So now we're going to glue the back on. Everything else is good and dry, and in doing that I'm going to put glue on these tabs. I haven't figured out how I'm going to get them connected and get the back glued, but I gotta glue everything kind of at once. So I'm going to start with these edges. This is the hard part because you have to stay right on that skinny edge, but it's probably the most important. Another way you could get around this is covering it with paper on the outside, because the paper would help hold it. And I'm not going to put glue on the insides because it's not even going to touch the backing. That's why these tabs are important. So we're just going to put glue on the tabs, and I think that will call it good. The thing the back is for is just so the stains don't fall through. That's the most important. This right here matches up, so I'll put some there. That one does not, that does not, these do not, and that one does not. So let's see, we got some extra glue. Okay. This is a little bit crooked, so what I want to do is put it up on end like this and get those corners matched up. I'm going to start with that and hold that for a minute. Okay. My bottom's coming off. Okay. Okay, now I think I got that straight. I'm not exactly sure. It's a little bit warped. You might be able to get that fixed. Okay. A little bit warped over here. I cut my back slightly larger because on the other one that I made it was slightly smaller. Now what I'm going to do is find something long, like maybe this bone folder, and get in here and press down these hinges that I put glue on. Okay, this needs to dry. Needs to be dry real good. Wouldn't even be a bad idea to put a book on top of it, but I'm real pleased with the way it's lined up. These three sides look real good. This side bows in right here, and that is just because probably these two pieces were, slightly shorter. It's so hard it can be very difficult to get exact cuts. Some people are probably really good at it. I'm really not that good on it. I think I want to cover this because I don't like the looks of that. So I could either use a piece of this or, let's see. This I would do maybe 4 5/8 by almost 7/8. It's not even 7/8. Let me go find it. And I think I'm just going to cut this with the scissors. So, I'm just going just barely under 4 5/8. There and there. Okay. Just make sure. I might cover this with pattern paper too. Yeah, why not? Right? What I could do is now mark this from the underside. I don't know if that worked really. What did I say it was? Oh, 7/8, just under 7/8. Here's 7/8. It'll be right there. And that looks crooked to me here. Is that better? Over just a little bit more. This corner's crooked. I'm going to try it again. So we have quarter, half, here's 7/8. So I wanted to do 1.5 inches, and I should have. For some reason I did 2 inches. But so if you're going to make one of these for the distress stains, do 1.5 inches on this side. You do 1.5 inches on the back side, but you start with 2 inches, and then after that you do every 1.5 inches. So I'm probably not going to cover this with pattern paper. I think I'm just going to glue it and call it good. I can always add the pattern paper later. Okay, I feel like I need to keep something heavy, kind of heavy on this to hold it down. I don't have anything right in front of me. There. So I got this bottom piece all glued nice and solid and dried. So here's my box, here's my organizer, and I'm going to put my distress stain jobbers in them. And I can tell you, let me show you what I did with the distress stains, is I used a little 5/8 inch punch, and I cut holes out of white cardstock, circles, out of white cardstock, and then I dabbed some stain on there, and then I glued it. So let me get this all put together in my shelf, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here it is. Here's my holder for my distress stains. I can clearly see each color there. Doesn't look too bad, other than the mistake that I made of the top one is only 1.5 inches and the bottom, or the other 3 or 2 inches, but it's fine. It doesn't look that bad. Actually, if I had done all of them 1.5 inches, it would have been better, because the whole thing would have been shorter by 1.5 inches, so the top would have been here, and these colors wouldn't be so hard for me to see. Right now I'm bending down. This is a very short shelf, so it's actually it's 2 dresser drawers, and my husband put so this is the front of one dresser drawer, and this is the front of another dresser drawer, and these are the backs that are back to back, and then he put these boards in here for me, and I just painted it, sanded it and painted it very rough. I didn't want it to look all nice and pretty. I want it to be kind of rough. So anyhow, it works great for me right next to my table, and I am all about getting organized right now. So maybe I might try to see about making something for my Copic markers, which are in here. But I like to have something kind of like this at an angle, so that I can see all the colors on the end. I think it would be really nice if that was the case. So anyways, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.